He was comparable to Jeff Thompson in his prime. Well, that's not me hyping someone up. That's wisdom. Talking about Patrick Patterson, a name that once terrified batsmen around the world. A Jamaican fast bowler so ferocious that even Viv Richards, the swaggering king of Caribbean cricket, struggled against him. And Graham Gooch, one of England's finest, later admitted that Patterson was the only bowler who ever made him genuinely fear for his life. But if he was that good, why don't we hear his name today? Why did a man compared to Jeff Thompson, Holding and Marshall just disappear into the shadows? This is the story of Patrick Patterson, the fastest, fiercest, and perhaps most mysterious bowler cricket has ever seen. Patterson wasn't born in cricket royalty, but the game ran in his blood. His father and grandfather played parish cricket in Jamaica, and they say his grandfather gave him the pace in his genes. As a schoolboy, Patterson dreamed of being a batsman. In fact, he once opened in a high school game. But let's be honest, watching him bat was probably like watching Mike Tyson attempt ballet. Amusing, but not sustainable. The ball in hand was where he truly belonged, and moving to Kingston would soon prove it. There, he joined forces with another towering fast bowler, Courtney Walsh. At Excelsior High School, the duo tore through every opposition lineup in their path, and it wouldn't be long before the rest of the cricketing world would feel the same fear. Patterson's reputation grew so quickly that he was already wanted overseas before he even wore maroon. Lancashire signed him for county cricket, and Tasmania brought him into the Sheffield Shield. Whispers spread quickly. Here was a Jamaican who might just be as quick as Michael Holding and as terrifying as Malcolm Marshall. And then came the moment that sealed his arrival. In the early 80s, Clive Lloyd himself came scouting for fast bowlers. Patterson and Walsh were picked to bowl at him in the nets. And Patterson's very first ball broke the great man's thumb. Imagine that. You're bowling at the West Indies captain, and you smash his thumb on ball 1. Clive Lloyd didn't need a second look. He knew this kid was special. February 1986, Sabina Park, Jamaica. The Englishmen had arrived for the Wisden Trophy, and already the atmosphere was electric. Facing Malcolm Marshall and Joel Garner with Michael Holding as first change was tough enough. But this time, there was a new face waiting for them, Patrick Patterson. They had heard the rumors. Faster than Marshall, some said. Scarier than Holding, others whispered. But whispers don't prepare you for reality. And by the end of his very first over, Gooch and company knew this wasn't hype. Patterson was lightning in human form. His debut spell was pure carnage. He bowled 11 hostile overs, took 4 wickets, and the 30 runs he conceded mostly came from batsmen blindly swinging in self-defense. In the second innings, he grabbed 3 more, 7 wickets in his debut test, and West Indies crushed England by 10 wickets. His impact was so great that Graham Gooch later admitted it was the only time in his career he genuinely feared for his safety. Now think about that. Gooch, who had faced Dennis Tilley, Imran Khan and Wasim Akram, saying it was Patterson who scared him to death. That's how frightening the Jamaican really was. And if you thought Patterson's debut was scary, wait until his first tour of India in 1987, New Delhi, first test. The Indian crowd had come to see Kapil Dev and Vengsarkar. Instead, they got a nightmare. Patterson dripped through India with figures of 5 for 24, blasting them out for just 75. To this day, fans in Delhi still remember that morning as if a train had just run over their batting lineup. But he didn't stop in Delhi. In Mumbai, he ripped through again. Another fifer, ending the series with 17 wickets. By then, Patterson wasn't just another quick in the West Indies arsenal. He was the new weapon of destruction. And back home, he had already earned his nickname. Every time he charged in at Sabina Park, the crowd roared one word, Rambo. Yes, that was his nickname. Just like Sylvester Stallone in the movies, Patterson came for one purpose, destruction. A force you didn't want to miss. And speaking of not missing out, hitting that subscribe button ensures you never skip a single epic cricket story we bring to life. Right now, only 3.7% of viewers have done so make sure you're part of it. Patterson wasn't just fast, he was the fastest. In an era where the West Indies already had a galaxy of fast bowling stars, Patterson was still remembered as perhaps the quickest of them all, consistently touching speeds around 156 kmph. His run-up was smooth, but then came the signature move, that high front leg, lifted so far it looked like he was trying to kick a ceiling fan. As Mike Selvey once wrote, he stamped down so hard it could be measured on the Richter scale. And then came the ball. Short, fast, hostile, often ending with batsmen hopping, ducking, or just closing their eyes and praying. One story that captures Patterson's menace perfectly comes from a training session during Viv Richards' farewell series. Patterson had the legendary batsman in all sorts of trouble. So frustrated was Richards that according to Patterson, he threw his bat at the net and walked away. And when the great Viv Richards react like that, you know, you are really special. Patterson wasn't just quick, he was fire, pure aggression. Take the 1988 Melbourne Test. Steve Waugh had been sending bouncers down at Patterson relentlessly, taunting him with every delivery. Big mistake. Huge mistake. Patterson stormed into the Australian dressing room after play and delivered a chilling message. I will you. Now, most people would laugh that off. But when it comes from a 6-foot Jamaican who bowls faster than a speeding taxi in Kingston, you take it seriously. The next day, he delivered on the threat. Patterson sent down 15 quick overs on the last day. His leg was lifting higher, slamming harder, and the Aussies were trembling. He took 5 for 39, bowled Australia out for 114, and ended with 9 wickets in the match. Yes, 9 wickets. Steve Waugh later described facing Patterson as being like an apartment block tumbling down on you. And let's be honest, he wasn't exaggerating. But then, silence. By the early 90s, Patterson's career began to unravel. He clashed with administrators, stormed off fields, and at Brisbane, he walked off without saying a word to his captain. Soon after, he was dropped. And then, just like that, Patrick Patterson disappeared. Where was Patrick Patterson? For years, rumors spread. Some said he had vanished into the bush in Jamaica, retreating into the wilderness. Others claimed he wanted nothing to do with cricket ever again. Even Viv Richards went searching, only to be told he had no interest in meeting or reconnecting with the game. For nearly 2 decades, his whereabouts remained one of West Indies cricket's greatest mysteries. Finally, in 2017, Indian journalist Bharat Sundaresan tracked him down in Kingston. Patterson was alive, but living quietly, battling mental health struggles and separated from his family. The fire and aggression that once terrorized batsmen were gone, but the memories of cricketing brilliance remained as vivid as ever. A tragic ending for a man who once feared as the fastest bowler on earth. In just 28 tests, Patterson took 93 wickets at a strike rate of 51.9, one of the best ever. In 59 ODIs, he claimed 90 wickets at 24.51, proving his menace carried to the wide ball as well. These numbers don't show longevity, but they scream impact. Every time he bowled, batsmen and fans felt it. Patrick Patterson's story is strange and unforgettable. Compared to Jeff Thomson, feared by Graham Gooch, respected by Viv Richards, and adored as Rambo in Jamaica, he played fewer than 30 tests before vanishing like a ghost. How good was he? Good enough to terrify the bravest batsman, and good enough to be remembered as one of the fastest men to ever hold a cricket ball. But cricket, like life, isn't always fair. His fire burned bright, but far too briefly. And even today, we are still asking, what really happened to Patrick Patterson? So guys, that's it for today's video. If you want to see how Malcolm Marshall used mathematics to destroy England, or how good was Jeff Dujon, click on the videos being displayed on your screen.